Hello all, welcome to my class. In the previous session, we have seen the proxy design pattern, the intent section. Now we will see what is the syntax, that is nothing but the structure of the proxy design pattern. So, you can just see a very simple diagram for a proxy design pattern structure. Okay, you can just match with a motivation example. It's very easy to understand now. So, in this one we had got that is a editor, document editor was there. So, here I told you, so that graphical editor or a document editor was the client. Okay, so here you have got one participant, that is a client, and then the subject, that is a graphics. Okay, so in a graphics we were performing the activity, right? So that is why the subject here. Okay, so which contains some requests there. Okay, so within that you have got that is a derived classes. So I told you, so that is image. Okay, so image will be your real object, so which will be residing in the secondary storage, and the proxy, that is the image proxy, you can imagine. So that image proxy is nothing but our real design pattern, I told you. So that is a proxy which again contains the same request operation that is there in the parent class as well as, and it was performing some activity, right? So that is it is going to have a reference to a real subject. So and therefore the means a real subject or a real image, the proxy is going to perform that one. So you can just see it is going to have that request operation. Okay, so this is a structure. So very small structures. This actually you can imagine with the very first diagram what I explained. I explained diagram like this, no? So this will be your client now. Okay, so here comes your proxy. So here the real object. Okay, so this actually I explained in the motivation diagram. So you can better understand now. Okay, so very simple now. So here you have got a client, and then you have got a proxy, and within that means that proxy is going to have a reference to a real subject. So these two were in memory, and this was in the secondary storage, right, or in a disk. So this diagram I explained in the motivation example also. Okay, so this is a structure, so that is a structure of the proxy design pattern, and this small diagram is helpful to remember the proxy design pattern completely. Okay, so now by looking into structure, so what you can write? You can write what? Participants, right? We will see the participants now. So, I will start with the first participant, that is a proxy itself. Okay. First participant, proxy, and he is going to maintain what? Reference. Right? He is going to maintain reference for the real subject. Okay. So, and he is going to perform the activity, so with respect to the real subject which is residing on the secondary storage device. Okay. So, we will see the other operations of this proxy. Provides interface is identical to subject interface, means it is going, it will be there, no, this interface will be there, no, the same interface it is going to provide, means which is going to be identical to a subject interface. Okay, so it is going to provide such kind of interfaces that makes the real object more means compatible with the proxy. Okay, the same interface it is going to provide for the real subject also. Okay, and it controls access to real subject. So, controlling means it may even create it, even it may remove that one, or it may even delete it. Okay. So, this proxy, so which is a participant in the structure. Okay. So, in a proxy design pattern, this is a major participant and it is going to provide the reference. Okay. So, for the real subject, and even it provides the interface same as the subject interface to a real subject, and then it controls the access to a real subject. That the means the control access is nothing but creating and removing the same. Okay. So, that is the first participant. Next we will see the second one. See, apart from these operations of the proxy participant, you have got 3 different kinds of major proxies that is present. Okay. So, that is remote proxy, so remote proxy, so usually used in a, that is distributed systems, that is in the name itself, that is a remote, okay, which is in a different address spaces. So, it is going to encode and decode the informations or the codes that is being taken place between the objects. Okay. So, it is going to code for or decode for the real objects which is being present in the different address spaces. Okay. So, that operation will also be done by the proxy participant, means proxy design pattern. Other than these 3 operations, so it is coming in 3 different ways of design. So, one is a remote proxy which can be used in a distributed network way, means the objects are placed in a different address spaces. So, there it can be used to encode and decode the coding or information between the objects. We will see the second version, virtual proxy. Which caches the additional informations. Okay. So, virtual proxy, we can even use this proxy in a virtual proxy manner. So, where it is going to have the additional information stored. So, that is why we have used the word caches. Okay. So caches, that is a cache memory is there, no. So it is going to have the that additional information stored, means it delays the access to a original object, original subject access will be denied when you are going to use this virtual proxy. I explained this virtual proxy only in a motivation example. So instead of bringing the original subject, okay, so if you bring this virtual proxy there, so it is going to deny the entry of that real object into a picture. Okay, so means it may reduce the cost also, even it may give the good performance also. So that is the meaning of this one. So it is going to provide some additional information, or it is going to store that additional informations. Okay, so that will be means that will be efficient for the real object. Okay, it may come later. So it this virtual will be executing on behalf of the original. Okay, we'll see the last one, protection proxies. So which is going to check the access. This is going to check the access of the person who is going to request the any of the activities. Okay, so whether it is a right access or a wrong authorized access or not. So for that also you can use the proxy, that is a protection proxy. So where it is going to focus on whether it is a privileged or authorized access or not the authorized access, like that. So it is going to provide the protection for unauthorized access. Okay, so these are the major three kinds of proxy patterns, or different varieties of the proxies you can use. So I just explained the participants, right? Under that the first participant was proxy, and within that proxy, so you have got three different kinds of proxies. Okay, so now we'll see the second participant, subject. Subject is a second participant. So where it is going to provide the interface, actually the common interface. It provides the common interface for the real subject and the proxy. Okay, so it will be providing that interface, and wherever you are going to use the original object, so you can use the proxy object by using that interface, since it is a common interface for both proxy and the real subject. So wherever you want to use the real object, you can use the proxy instead. Okay, so that is the role of the second participant. Next we'll see the third participant, real subject. Real subject is nothing but the third participant, so which actually the real object which is being created for the client, and that is being stored in the secondary storage device, and who is going to respond for the proxy. Okay, so this real subject is going to respond for the proxy, you can tell. He is going to respond for the proxy, and he will be residing in the that is secondary storage device. So these are the three major participants so we can come across in a proxy design pattern. I'll continue with the proxy. So we need to see the applications now. Applications of proxy design pattern. So that is we'll see with respect to the different kinds of proxy we have seen. So we have seen the remote proxy. We'll see the applications of this remote proxy like that. Okay. So remote proxy I told you, so which is going to provide the that is coding and decoding for of the information for the objects which is present in a different address spaces, right? So that is, it is going to be served as a local object. Okay, so means it is going to taken as a local object, and then it is going to provide the informations that is present in the different address locations. Okay, so that is the first application you can tell with respect to the remote proxy. And next we will see the next proxy, virtual proxy which creates the objective, means which creates the expensive objects on demand. For example, the objects so which is being created and stored somewhere, we cannot access it, okay. So in that case, so if you want to duplicate that one, so if you want to provide the virtual access to the original object, then you can use this one, that is a virtual proxy, okay. So means which gives the expensive object. So when you feel the object creation is expensive or the operations of that particular object is expensive, you can go with this proxy, that is a virtual proxy, so which provides you the creation of the expensive proxies, okay. So when you have a demand, so it will give the solution for you, okay. So and next we will see the next design pattern application, so that is protection proxy. So which provides access to virginal, means I can tell which provides protection to the virginal object. So which provides the access or which provides the protection to the virginal object, maybe in terms of authorized access or means not authorized access, like that. So which may give the protection rights, okay. So these are the few of the applications that we can find in the proxy design pattern. So these three kinds we have seen in the that is participant section also, and we have seen the application respectively for the remote proxy, how we are going to make use of the applications, and the same way for the virtual proxy and with respect to protection proxies, okay. Now we will see the consequences that can arise when you are going to use the proxy design pattern. So here the proxy hides the real subject or a object, that too in particular remote proxy I can tell. So here when we going to see the consequences, okay. So proxy, it is means I told you that is going to be a remote proxy only. So because it is going to hide means so because that will be in a different address space, no. So even though the object is residing in the different address spaces, the people or a client cannot see the virginal object, they can only see the virtual object only, that is the that is you are going to see only the remote proxy only as an real object. So it is going to completely mask the real object, okay. So that you can consider as a means a advantage, or it even be a disadvantage, okay. Sometimes you may find it as an advantage, okay. So because it is completely going to mask the real object with respect to the remote proxy. I have written R proxy, that is a remote proxy, okay. So we will see other consequence. So virtual proxy, it may provide optimization. So this I can tell as an advantage, okay. So which provides the optimization, means when you want to create an object so which is in demand, okay. So the original object may cost you more, which is a bit expensive, and you want to create that object virtually, so you can use this virtual proxy, and that provides you some optimization there. So that will be advantage, right. So so this may be, this second consequence may be considered as an advantage, okay. So we will see the next one, that is a protection proxy, right. Requires housekeeping activity. Requires housekeeping activity means it may require more reference, more memory it may require. Why? Because it should able to compare whether he is an authorized person or not. means I need to go on with the comparisons, so it may require some memory, even it may incur some time usage there. So that is why I can tell this protection proxy a little bit advantage as well as more disadvantage in terms of memory, and the same with respect to the time also. It's not efficient, so efficiency can be measured with the time and the space complexities, right? So when you consider this one, so that is a protection proxy. So in order to provide the protection, obviously it needs to check with the authorized persons or not authorized persons, like it contains some list there, so it needs to compare each and every time when the user logs on to a system, when he comes for the accessing of the original object, like that. Okay, so these are the three major consequences that can arise when you are going to design the proxy design pattern. Okay, so now we'll see the collaborations, how it is being collaborated. Okay. So here the proxy is being collaborated in such a way that whatever the request it is going to get, okay, so it is just going to forward that request to a real subject, okay, that I have mentioned there. So proxy forwards request to the real subject and means when appropriate. Okay, so why we have mentioned this one? So that is so we have got so many kinds of that is we have got three kinds of proxy design patterns. So that is we have seen remote proxy and the virtual proxy and the protection proxy, right? Based on the kind of proxy, so you can decide whether to forward the request to a real subject or not. Okay, because the all three kinds of proxies will perform in a different way. Okay, so based on the, that is why we have given a word appropriate. So for appropriate situation means for particular situation it is going to choose the actions accordingly. Okay, so that is how the proxy is being collaborated. Now we'll see the few of the implementation issues that can arise when you are going to use the proxy design pattern. Implementation issues. See, in C++, we have got a operator, member overloading operator. So that is member access operator, sorry. So that can be overridden. So how it is going to be done? That is overriding operator. You can just tell like this. Okay, so overriding operators, the C++ which is going to provide you this operator which is going to help you in implementing the this kinds of proxies. Okay, so when you are going to support these kinds of overloading operator, so it is going to help you to perform the additional activities that can be done when you are going to have object dereferences. Okay, so these kinds of operations are supported in a C++. So if you follow this one, so then that will be very helpful when you are going to have object dereference, object referencing. So these kinds of situation you can handle easily. So if you follow this that is a member overloading approach, okay, that is followed in a C++. We'll see the next issues. Using does not understand, okay, does not understand in the small talk. In that language we have got this keyword, so that is does not understand, there is no space here, does not understand, okay. So we'll see how it is being done. So here in the small talk it is going to provide a hook, okay, so just like a hook, okay, so it is going to provide an option where it automatically forwards the request, okay. So here what happens in a proxy, the subject will be there that will forward a request to a proxy, and proxy will forward to a real subject, like that, right. So here in a small talk it is going to have a topic or an operation called the automatic forwarding of the request, okay. So that is does not understand keyword, which allows you for automatic forwarding of the request. This automatic forwarding of a request, okay, so can be denoted in a small talk as a does not understand, okay. So the keyword does not understand, it is going to define as the forwarding of the request automatically. If you use the proxy here using this method, so I think it's easy to forward the request to the real subject, automatically it forwards, right. So then there is no need of invoking every time explicitly for the real subject by proxy. So that is the thing you need to consider while designing the proxy design pattern. That is in a small talk we have got the option, so which automatically forwards the request, okay, that is being forwarded from the client, okay. So for that we are going to call does not understand, okay. So that method, that option can be used in a proxy, which makes the proxy easier to forward request to the real subject, okay. We'll see the next issue. So here the proxy doesn't always require to know about the type of the real subject, because the proxy is going to follow the uniform interfaces that can be given by the subject itself. So means it is going to act uniformly with any kinds of the real subject. So there is no need of knowing the type of the object, because when you are going to create the virtual objects, so you may think, so whether I need to go with the same type of a real object or what, whether which kinds of real object is working in the background. So those kinds of worries will not be taken place here in this proxy design pattern. So because it is not going to focus on the type of the real subject, because it is going to act uniformly with all kinds of the subjects. So these are all the 3 points you need to consider while implementing the proxy design pattern. Now we'll see the sample code, that is a pseudo code. We can go with the proxy design pattern. So we'll see the code with respect to the virtual proxy and the kinds of proxy we have seen, virtual proxy, remote proxy and the protection proxy. So we'll see the pseudo code for all of the proxies with a very few lines, okay. So we'll see how it is being implemented. The code implements two kinds of proxies, the virtual proxy that is we described in a motivation section, and the proxy implemented with the does not understand, okay. So first you have got virtual proxy. So the graphic class defines the interface for graphical objects. You have got a code, that is a class graphic. So within that you have a destructor, draw method, handle mouse, and the point that is a get text, get extent, and the load and the save operations. So you have got a C++ methods there, is stream and the OS stream, that is input and output streams, okay. And the image class implements the graphic interface to display the images. The image overrides handle mouse to let users resize the image interactively. We will see that coding now. The class image that is colon public graphic public image, okay, so which contains a file format that is of character, and you have got a destructor and a draw method, handle mouse, and you have a get extend. So within that you have got load under save methods, okay, and the image proxy has the same interface as a image. So you can just go with this coding part. Class image proxy, which is inheriting from a public graphic. So within that you have got image proxy and the respective destructor, draw method, handle mouse, so which is going to perform the same activities that can be done in the graphic class as well as. Okay, so now we will see the same operation with the proxies that use does not understand. Now we have seen the coding for the virtual proxy, and now we will see the proxy that use the does not understand. Okay, so you can just see you can make generic proxies in a Smalltalk by defining classes whose superclass is nil and defining the does not understand method to handle the messages. So this method assumes the proxy as a real subject method that returns its real subject. In the case of image proxy, this method would check to see if the image had been created, create if necessary, and finally return it. It uses perform with arguments to perform the message being trapped on the real subject. Does not understand, so which is going to be inherited from message self real object perform a message which is in a Smalltalk. Okay, so with arguments, a message arguments will be there. The argument to does not understand is an instance of a message that represents the message not understood by the proxy. So the proxy responds to all messages by making sure that the real subject exists before forwarding the message to it. Okay, so one of the advantages of does not understand is it can perform arbitrary processing. For example, you can consider this coding. So that is a protection proxy by specifying a set legal messages of messages to accept and then giving the proxy the following method. Does not understand, you have got that is a message. A legal message includes a message selector. If true, self real object, perform message selector with arguments. So you have got a message arguments. If false, self illegal operator. So actually this code what I explained, it was there in a Smalltalk which is not in our syllabus, but since it was there in that particular topic I explained. Okay, so means he explained how to use that does not method. Okay, does not understand, sorry, so does not understand that option in a Smalltalk, how they used it, means automatically which forwards the request to a real subject. Okay, so he explained that concept using a Smalltalk, which is not mentioned in our syllabus, but it's included in the topic, so I explained. Okay, so that is about the small code regarding that is sample codes regarding the proxy design patterns. Now we'll see the noun uses of this one. Next step. Okay, so this framework or this environment, object oriented environment, it is also going to use the proxies as a local representation representations, means local objects. So in order to represent the objects which is being specified in a different address spaces. Okay, so this I can tell you can make use of the proxy in a next step as a local representatives or a local objects. Next we will see that even in a Smalltalk, you can use remote proxies. Means this remote proxy will be widely used. So even in a the Smalltalk language, you can use the remote proxy. I explained, no, so does not understand method can be applied in a Smalltalk. Then obviously there might be usage of the proxies in the Smalltalk also. So you can use this that is a remote proxy in a Smalltalk language as well as. So these are all the few known uses of the proxy design pattern. Now we will see the related patterns. Okay, related patterns to proxy. Adapter and the decorator. Adapter and the decorator design pattern. So we'll find similar functionalities with respect to these two design patterns. So they have got few of the similarities between them. So that's why we have got a decorator and the adapter design patterns which are similar to the proxy. So you can choose according to the situations. Okay, so not exactly like a proxy they are going to work. The similar kinds of operation it is going to perform for this proxy design patterns. Okay, so this is about the proxy design pattern. So that is about the complete third module. So what we have seen, so that completes actually third module. In this third module we have completely studied the structural design pattern. So I told you in the beginning itself we have got 23 design patterns. So those are all categorized into 3 types, that is a structural and the creational and the behavioral design patterns, right? So all together it gives rise to the 23 design pattern, and in the syllabus it has kept only the 7 design patterns. So that too which comes under the structural design pattern. So so many design patterns I have given a definition in the first module itself. So those are all not included in the syllabus, but it's there in the textbook. Okay, so it's there in our textbook. That is I shown you already. That is in a design pattern Erich Gamma textbook. All the 23 design pattern he has given in this single textbook. Okay, so this textbook completely contains regarding 23 design patterns, but in the with you syllabus he has kept only the 7 patterns. So that is the structural design patterns are kept in the syllabus. Behavioral and the creational design patterns are not kept in the syllabus. Okay, so hope you understood all the concepts that is present in the third module. Okay, I'll stop here. We'll continue in the next session with the fourth module. Okay, thank you.